As Lee said, I've joined 12D and I'm heading up operations in the Americas. Our head office is in Vancouver, and we do have quite a few existing users in that part of the world, but obviously we're trying to develop new sales. So for all those that don't know where Vancouver is, we're just above the States, so above Seattle, but the region covers both North and South America. The initial focus is on Canada, for the obvious reason that it operates in metric, so it's a little bit easier for the direct conversion. But the US is a massive market, and in the long run, that's where we want to be. We also have a lot of resellers that are coming on board or interested in South America, and that's going to really help push and open that market as well. Generally, the market is still on a recovery. Obviously, the financial crisis started there, and it was a pretty big hit. But things are ramping up, and there's more projects and more confidence building as time goes on. Obviously, North America is the home of most of the mainstream CAD products, and they currently dominate the market. But saying that, there's always opportunity. So just a summary of the market. There's some typical revenues of Canada and the US. The Canadian market is very similar to Australia in size and the operators, but as you can see, the US market is massive and probably the biggest in the world, just by sheer revenue, the number of businesses and employees. Some of the general trends, there's been a large number of mergers and acquisitions, and some of those have affected people in this room. And generally, clients are trying to expand the services they offer, and the smaller ones are really trying to improve efficiency. That's generally trying to take advantage of the upswing in the market that's currently happening. The widespread use of 3D CAD, which was a surprise to me, it's a pretty recent trend. It's really only kicked in the last, I'd say, 5 years. There's been significant investment by companies across the board. Obviously, the larger companies have been using it for quite a long time, but the smaller players, in a lot of cases, were really doing it the old-fashioned way. So as Lee said, we are there to try and advance the technology uptake. Same side on the survey side, there's a lot of operators using older technologies and tools. Guys doing projects with dumpies and theodolites, not even mechanized total stations. So there's plenty of scope for improvement, and there's plenty of scope for us to help some of those people take the next step in their work. South America, it's a growing market, and it's largely driven by natural resource development, but also infrastructure projects. So we just had the World Cup in Brazil, and they had some massive infrastructure projects. Obviously, the Olympics are coming up, just as well as general development in some of these countries. There are some rather mature engineering hubs in Chile and Brazil, and that's where we've had a lot of initial interest in 12D. The language barrier is obviously an issue, but we have had a lot of interest, like I said, from local resellers, and this is really helping us break down those barriers to possibly using 12D and taking on the technology. We're working directly with potential clients in the areas where we don't have resellers, but also, like I said, we have some resellers, and I'll highlight that in a few slides' time. So generally, the products that are getting a lot of interest is the two-flow and integrated stormwater analysis, as well as the 12D field and the survey tools. You might note that I haven't put any design road type products there. Taking on the big players head-to-head, we're not going to win, but certainly we offer a range of tools which no one else currently does, and this is where we're getting the interest. And the main regions that we're focusing on at the moment is BC, or British Columbia, which is on the west coast of Canada. There's a lot of infrastructure and natural resource projects kicking off. Alberta, which is the next state in, more to central Canada. Obviously, oil sands, for those that know, oil sands is a huge engineering and capital project centre. So the mining and the pipelines that go along with that. And in the USA, where we're really getting a lot of interest in the 2D drainage side of things. So as an aftermath of Cyclone Katrina, FEMA has issued quite a lot of mandates that any project in a high-risk zone must have quite substantial 2D drainage analysis. And the companies and the products that offer that are fairly limited. And with 12D's two-flow integration, we're pretty much at the forefront of that. So one of our first new clients is a company called McElhenney. They're a typical kind of integrated surveying, engineering, mapping, and specialty kind of engineering services company. They have about 31 offices in Western Canada and operate majority in BC and Alberta. The office that we're dealing with is the Kitimat office, which is in northern BC. 12D users of the survey department there, and BJ and Grant have been kind enough to provide a little bit of information on some of the projects they're using 12D on. So Kitimat, for all those who don't know where it is, it's way up the top there. As the bird flies, it's about 1,500 kilometres from Vancouver. If you want to drive it, it's probably about 2 days' drive, 2,000 kilometres. So it's kind of up there by itself. There's not a whole lot that goes on there. So you've got a few locals hanging around, you fish, and in the winter, you shovel your driveway. So it's kind of way out there, and it's pretty desolate. But saying that, it also has the biggest aluminium smelter in Canada, and it is now going to be the home of the LNG industry. So typically they're using 12D for some of their laser scanning, their detailed survey and mapping. They're using it for some general construction layout, as well as earthwork and compliance checking. So this is just some images from a recent project they do. Most of their projects in the middle of nowhere. So in this case, they took a small plane from Kitimat to another regional airport, and then they jumped in a helicopter to go out and survey this bridge. Because Canada is covered in snow for a large part of the year, a lot of projects are really condensed into the summer season. And in this case, this is a resource road for logging as well as some mining. And obviously during the summer thaw or the spring thaw, the bridge is being swept away. So in this case here, they were dropped in by helicopter, and the helicopter was used to transport them from side to side. And they scanned the bridge as well as the approaches for the next season to come back and fix that so they could continue operations. So we have an established reseller in Brazil, and Pat's doing some great work down there. They have a complete webpage in Portuguese, which is getting a lot of attention, so it's taking it kind of to the new level. We're currently developing resellers in Colombia and Chile, and they'll probably do the same thing. We'll have a Spanish-speaking presence once they come online. As Matt said yesterday, if you know anyone who's interested, the Americas region is pretty huge, and we're looking for more resellers. Covering it with by myself and with a few resellers we're doing extremely well, but saying that, we'd like to do better. So if you've got anyone, you'll know anyone, please let me know. So if I was a better graphic artist, I would have put Lee's face where the 12D logo is, but unfortunately I'm a 12D user, so well, maybe that's a good thing. But basically, 12D is only as good as its users, and we have some amazing users in the room here. What I would like from you guys, if possible, is your help to promote 12D, either directly or indirectly. There's a lot of international companies which use 12D in Australia, and they have a massive presence in North and South America. But saying that, there's not much translation of that technical expertise we have here across there. So if you know people, either directly or indirectly, or you want to provide names or leads, or even, promote 12D internally, that would be amazing. Our aim is to get new and different users, and obviously the guys in North America are doing a lot of different projects that we don't have here, and hopefully we look forward to that bringing further innovation to 12D. Also, broadening the 12D, I suppose, influence worldwide, it provides a greater chance for work share for a lot of the guys in the bigger companies, but also mobility for 12D users internationally. Just touching on some employment opportunities, there is a current lack of skilled surveying and CAD professionals in some areas. In Western Canada especially, there's almost a critical shortage. So for those who are interested, there's always opportunity. There will certainly be growing demand for 12D users. It's the chicken and egg problem we have. get a lot of inquiries about 12D, but obviously getting users and getting people up to scratch takes time. So there's some hesitation because there's a perceived lack of that expertise. So that will improve as things go on. The North American engineering market is ramping up, and as I said before, there's opportunities to promote 12D internally and enable internal transfer. So if you're interested in working in Canada or USA, please let me know. I'm keeping tabs on those who are interested and trying to connect dots if possible. So if you want to know anything more about the Americas region, discuss something about employment, become a 12D reseller, or just buy me a beer, please come and see me during the conference. Thank you very much.